Purdy out of the shotgun, drops a couple of steps, going to take a deep shot. The Brandon Ayuk, it's deflected and caught.
Cousins, first read taken away. Left side, he throws, wide open hit. From being able to make a play on that football. That's where Sutter was so good last year in the red zone. Nix evades the run. Nix the fake, another fake, and he spins into the end zone. They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard. Jones on the fake, pressure coming, and he's sacked by Parsons.
God, corner.
Motion man Hudson.
The throw, caught. Hudson lost the ball. Looked like a touchdown. Instead, it's a turnover.
On the pocket. That's away from Chenal, who's trying to get after him for a second time, but the ball is thrown to the end zone, and it's caught! On it to McCaffrey, right up the middle, and a stiff arm, McCaffrey for 6.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome into our final edition of our 8 divisions and 8 days NFL preview series here on both the MI6 Sports Network and the IM6 Network. Football is almost back. We are about less than 24 hours away from the kickoff of the 2025 NFL season, and boy, oh boy, I cannot wait, man, for this. That football is officially going to be back tomorrow night. But yeah, we have 2 divisions left to go before we can officially kick off the 2025 NFL season, and we're doing tonight the AFC North as well as the NFC South, another double day here tonight. I'm Isaiah Leong. I'm joined by my guy, Shardo Gupta here. You've seen Shardo on many shows here on the network. Shardo, how are you doing here on this Wednesday night? And man, football is less than 15 hours from coming back.
Hi, Isaiah. It's great to be on the show today. I can't wait that football's gonna be fine. Football's almost back. I can't wait for Niners football. I can't wait to get the season started. Let's start the season on a good note.
Yeah, definitely. I can't wait as well. Before we get into the show tonight, if you guys like what you guys are seeing, go ahead and like our pages on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat. You can also give us a subscribe on YouTube as well, and you can also give Shardo a follow on YouTube as well. Shardo, you can go ahead and tell the viewers about your
my YouTube channel's SGA Sports Talk channel. I'm on the road to I'm at 443 subscribers. I'm on the road. I'm at 455 subscribers, and I'm on the road to 500. So if you like all the Niner content that I have on the channel, please go and click that like button, smash the subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you won't miss any of the exciting content that you want to catch on the channel.
Exactly. Well said. So yeah, go ahead and give Shardo a follow, smash that like and subscribe button for both our channel as well as Shardo's channel. And then
viewers, and we're also going to be doing a 2025 San Francisco 49ers season preview show on both of our channels. I just reached out to Isaiah, and he said he's up to do that. So if you we're going to be doing that, so don't miss out on that. It's going to be fun. We're going to preview the 2025 49ers season before we officially kick it off. So if you want to join us for that stream, we're going to be doing that on both of our channels. So that's going to be a fun stream to do.
Exactly. So, yeah, go ahead and subscribe and like our stuff, and we will really appreciate it. And also, if you guys have any comments, go ahead and put in the comments section. We're going to do our best to read your comments for you here live on the air. But Shardo, let's get into it, man. Let's get into the AFC North first, our first division here of this double day. The AFC North has the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Cleveland Browns, and the Baltimore Ravens. I'm going to tell you guys about what all these teams did this offseason before we give our predictions and our rundown about this division. So the Baltimore Ravens, they won the division last year. They have a really good team. They added longtime wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins, who was of the Kansas City Chiefs. DeAndre Hopkins still can play. He's a really good wide receiver. But however, they did lose their longtime kicker Justin Tucker, who they released after he had one of the worst seasons of his career. And he also got into some off the field troubles as well. They lost Nelson Aguilar. They lost quarterback Josh Johnson, as well as cornerback Tre'Davious White and Marcus Williams as well. So yeah, just one move for the Ravens this offseason, which was the addition of DeAndre Hopkins. But still, DeAndre Hopkins is a very good receiver, and you pair him with Zay Flowers. I think that's a really good wide receiver duo for the Ravens. For the Bengals, who had a very disappointing season, they fired defensive coordinator Lou Anarumo this past offseason. They picked up Al Golden, who's the new defensive coordinator there. He was the defensive coordinator of Notre Dame. He decided to go pro, and he's now the new defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals. They picked up nose tackle TJ Slayton. They also picked up running back Samaje Perine from the Chiefs. They lost, however, Sam Hubbard from defensive end, who announced his retirement. They lost Von Bell and also Alex Kappa as well. And then for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they picked up, yeah, that's right, legendary quarterback Aaron Rodgers is now a Pittsburgh Steeler. It was one move of a lot of great moves for the Steelers this offseason. They picked up Aaron Rodgers. They got DK Metcalf, traded for him in a big trade from the Seattle Seahawks. They also picked up cornerback Jalen Ramsey, which is going to help their defense. And they traded away longtime safety Minkah Fitzpatrick. They lost also longtime running back Najee Harris, and also George Pickens was traded to the Dallas Cowboys. And Van Jefferson is on a different team as well. So a lot of big changes in Pittsburgh for the Steelers. And then you look at the Cleveland Browns, who Deshaun Watson, I don't think he's going to play Chardot this season. He's now I think he tore his ACL, so he's injured again. The Browns, they picked up defensive tackle Mason Graham, who they drafted out of Michigan. And they also picked up quarterback Joe Flacco. He's back as a Brown. And also they drafted Deion Sanders' son, Shedeur Sanders, is now a Cleveland Brown, as well as Oregon quarterback Dylan Gabriel, who they drafted as well. So the Browns picked up a lot of quarterbacks this offseason. We don't know what they're going to do with these quarterbacks. They also got Bailey Zappi, who was released from the Kansas City Chiefs. They have him as well. So they have 4 different quarterbacks. And when you have 4 different quarterbacks, that's not a good thing, because you want one starter, and the Browns are going to be trying all different options at quarterback this season. And the Browns, their coach and their GM Andrew Berry and head coach Kevin Stefanski are both on the hot seat this season. So wow, this is gonna be
So as a 49er fan, Deshaun Watson has been involved in a lot of controversial things on and off the field. He's been involved in sexual allegation scandals with the massage therapist. So he's been having a controversial past. And many football fans can't forget about that, because whatever a player does haunts you, and then it haunts probably everybody else that's a fan of that player. And then he got involved in those allegations. So he was involved in those. So that's why people have a little bit of skeptical, are a little bit skeptical about that player because of what he was involved with. So he had a little bit of dark past, but he's trying to forget about it, forgetting about what he did and trying to learn from what he did and try and forget about what he did.
Yeah, but I don't think he's gonna play this season because he suffered a torn he suffered a torn Achilles again, his second torn Achilles tendon in 3 seasons. So I don't think he's gonna play because he got injured, I think like last season in about like October. So I think that he's gonna probably have to sit out the season and keep recovering from his injury. But I think it's gonna be for the Browns, Shador Sanders, Dylan Gabriel, Bailey Zappi at some point, and also Joe Flacco. Joe Flacco's a starter, but I think they're gonna like at some point you're gonna see like every game you're gonna see a different quarterback. I think play for the Cleveland Browns because
I
that's
had
just how bad the quarterbacks are for Cleveland.
I had one of my coworkers at Great America who was a Bears fan, and he was a big fan of Justin Fields. And then when he found out that he got traded to the Steelers, it kind of was a punch to the gut to him because he was like he was a big fan of Justin Fields when he was on the Chicago Bears. So when he went to the Steelers, that was a little bit of a punch to the gut for him, because he's like now he's seeing his favorite quarterback on a different team now. So it's not at first when he found out that he got traded to the Steelers, that was not like the easiest transition for him to like get used to like seeing him wearing another jersey. But after he got used to it, he understood that, like he's going to like, he left the Bears and he's going to another franchise and maybe he might make that franchise better like than they already are. So that was a that was kind of tough for him, but he's getting used to he's probably getting used to seeing Justin Fields on the Steelers now.
Stupid headphones.
So we're previewing the AFC North. In the AFC North, we got the Pittsburgh Steelers, we got the Cincinnati Bengals, we got the Cleveland Browns and the Ravens. Um, Isaiah just gave a little bit of rundown on all four of these teams, and how they're doing. But I think um seeing Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers, that's gonna be a little bit skeptical to see Aaron Rodgers on the Steelers. Um, but I think all four of these teams are gonna do well in the upcoming season. I think that the Browns are gonna do really well. The Ravens are gonna do well. The Bengals and the Steelers are all gonna have pretty good seasons. Um, in the AFC North. Uh, but yeah, but um, it's gonna be fun to see all these teams how they perform in the season. It's gonna be pretty exciting to see how these teams fare up in the standings.
Okay, do you hear me? Do you hear me good? By the way.
Yeah, I could hear you. I could hear you.
Okay, I can hear you. So, yeah, so let's preview the AFC North. So, Chardot for me, I'm gonna go with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I really like what they did this offseason. I think Aaron Rodgers still has a lot left in the tank. I thought he did pretty well with the Jets last season. He threw for I think over 3,000 yards. He didn't have a lot of interceptions last season. He was very good. And when you look at the Steelers, right? The Steelers have a very good defense with Cameron Hayward, and all the guys they have on defense, and also they added Jalen Ramsey, which is going to really help their secondary because Jalen Ramsey is a guy that always gets a lot of interceptions. He's really good at defending other teams' wide receivers. So I like the defense is very good for the Steelers. Their biggest issue was the offense. They didn't have a quarterback last year. Russell Wilson was not that great. Justin Fields was he couldn't throw the ball. He wasn't really that good. So they needed a quarterback, and they added a superstar quarterback in Aaron Rodgers, who will really help their passing game. And we're also like getting DK Metcalf, who's a superstar receiver from the Seahawks. I think is really going to help them a lot. They also have Pat Fryermuth as well, their tight end. Running back, they have Jalen Warren, who's very shifty and very dynamic. So I think the Steelers, I think they improved from a team that was a first round playoff exit to a Super Bowl contender. And I actually have them going to the Super Bowl this upcoming season. So I'm going to go with the Steelers. I think the Steelers will be number one in the division. I think that Aaron Rodgers will play like an MVP again. And I also think that it's going to really help. They have a great defense. All they just needed was the quarterback. And now they have that there in Pittsburgh. And so I think Mike Tomlin and the Steelers will win the division over the Ravens. The Ravens last season, they played the Steelers, but the Ravens beat up on the Steelers because the Steelers didn't have a quarterback. Well, now they do have a quarterback. So I think that the Pittsburgh Steelers, it's going to be Pittsburgh and Baltimore to fight for this division. And I think that Pittsburgh will come out on top in that race. In second place, I got the Ravens. Lamar Jackson is a beast. Derrick Henry is a beast. They have a really good defense as well. But I just think, I cannot trust Lamar Jackson, Chardot, to throw the football. Like, in big moments, like when he needs to make a play with his arm, I just cannot trust Lamar Jackson to make a play with his arm to throw the football. We know he can run, his wide receivers with DeAndre Hopkins and Zay Flowers are very, very good. But I just don't trust Lamar Jackson to be able to throw the football in a big moment. And I think that, it's going to, like I said, it's going to be Steelers and Ravens. It's going to be very close. But I still got the Pittsburgh Steelers this time beating the Baltimore Ravens out for the division. But I think it's going to be a close race. So I got the Ravens at second, but I think it's going to be a neck and neck race. And then you look at number 3 and number 4. I think the Cincinnati Bengals are going to take a major step down. And I think that you look at their schedule, it's very, very tough. You look at the Bengals schedule. The Bengals start with Cleveland, and they never really start off strong. So they got Cleveland to start the season, which I think is going to be a loss. I think it's going to be a trap game, and I think it's going to be a loss. Then they have Jacksonville, and then they have Minnesota, Denver, Detroit, and Green Bay, and Pittsburgh, who I think are either going to be Super Bowl teams or playoff teams. And then you have Chicago, who's an up-and-coming team. You have at Pittsburgh again, then New England, who I think will be way better than last season. Then you have at Baltimore, at Buffalo, then Baltimore again, and then at Miami, and then Arizona and Cleveland. I think the Bengals, Chardot, will start 1-5, and I think that, the problem with the Bengals is Joe Burrow is like a white Cam Newton. Because, and I'm talking in terms of their careers, where both are great quarterbacks, both went to the Super Bowl at a very young age, and they won't get back or didn't get back because their franchises just failed them. Like the Panthers never invested in the offensive line. They always kept letting offensive linemen go. So Cam Newton kept getting hurt, and then the defense just got old, and they never really drafted or got better pieces on defense. And so they just got old and everybody got washed. So the same thing is with the Bengals. The Bengals never invest in the offensive line, which is why Joe Burrow always gets hurt. And then, they paid the wide receivers and they paid the running backs. But here's the thing, in the NFL and football, you need to win. You need to have a great offensive line and defensive line to be able to protect the quarterback and then to be able to get after the opposing team's quarterbacks. And I just think that, when you look at the Bengals, they don't invest in the offensive line. They never prioritize the offensive line. And then defensive line, they paid Trey Hendrickson, but it was only a 1-year deal, so he's going to be a free agent at the end of the season. They didn't really make a lot of moves on defense, and their defense wasn't that great to begin with. They're just hoping that Al Golden can do a better job of coaching the defense than Lou Anarumo, but I just don't think they have great players on defense. So I think the Bengals are not going to have a good year, to be honest.
So I totally agree with you on your point about you have to strengthen the offensive line. Because in football, if you don't strengthen the offensive line, you're going to get clobbered by the other team because your offense is not strong enough. And then that's the biggest problem. How these players get injured because the other teams are so much stronger than they are, and then they get clobbered, and then they get overpowered. That's the problem with why so many injuries happen in football because the other team is so stronger than you're like weaker, and you're trying to like fight against the other team, but the other team is overpowering you, and you're not able to like do anything about it.
Right, right. And that's why I think the Bengals, I think if the Bengals, like I said, if the Bengals have another bad year, Zach Taylor is going to be fired. And my hot take is that Zach Taylor is going to get fired this season. And I think that Joe Brady, who was Joe Burrow's offensive coordinator at LSU when Joe Burrow had that amazing season and LSU won the national title, I think Joe Brady will be the next head coach of the Cincinnati Bengals. And then at fourth place, I'm going with the Cleveland Browns. Like the Cleveland Browns are going to be a bad team this year. They're going to probably get the number 1 overall pick. They have too many quarterbacks, too many not good quarterbacks.
So when you look at football, like when a team is not performing really well, do you do you blame it on the coach or the players, or you blame it both on the coach? Is the coach's job, the coach is not doing a great job, and the players, or who do you blame the performance on? Like, do you blame it on the coach and the players? Because that's what people are always looking at, like who to blame it on.
I think the Bengals situation, I think I blame it on the coach and the front office because they don't, like I said, they don't really get off good offensive line and they don't really get good defensive line. So they never protect their, franchise quarterback, their superstar quarterback in Joe Burrow. And then the defense is just terrible. They can't stop anybody. And, they didn't really do much to improve that defense last season. So I think, and I've never really been a big fan of Zach Taylor. I think he's very overrated. I think Joe Burrow is just really that good. That's why Zach Taylor looks so good, but I don't think he's really that good. I think he's not really good at game management and calling timeouts and stuff when he has to, and his play calling sometimes is really bad. So I think that I'm blaming for Cincinnati. I'm blaming the coach and the GM. I don't think it's on the players. I just think the coach is overrated, and I think the GM is he never signs any offensive lineman to protect Burrow, and he never signs any defensive lineman. And I think that's why Joe Burrow, like I said, he's starting to become the white Cam Newton, where I think in a few years, and I hate to say this, he might be out of the league because he's going to keep getting hurt and getting hurt and getting hurt because they just don't protect him.
I mean, like when you look at football, isn't the general manager the most important position in like the marketing in like the front office staff? Like the general manager's job is to sign good players, like talented players to get into to sign to your roster who are actually going to strengthen your team. But sometimes the problem is they sign players who don't have any experience, they don't have any playing experience, they don't know anything, and you put them on a team and they're saying like, what do we do? They don't know anything, so you can't just sign a player that has no experience. It's like picking a coach who has no coaching experience, and you put him on a team, and then he can't manage the team. He can't do anything. He fumbles up. He makes mistakes. The team goes in the down spiraling direction.
Yeah, no, I agree. And also,
and that's a problem in football, right? Because you need to sign good players, right? Like talented players that you need that can actually impact your team and help your team out in a big way, like not negatively but positively, like actually help out your team.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. That's why I think that the Bengals have a big problem at coach and GM, and I think that's why they're gonna have a bad season this year. But the Browns, I mean, they're also gonna have a bad season because they have too many bad quarterbacks on their team. You need one good quarterback. They don't have one good quarterback, and I think
for me, when I'm doing mine, I'm gonna go Bengals number 1. I'm gonna go Browns number 2. I'm gonna go Steelers number 3. I'm gonna go Ravens number 4.
So you think the Ravens are gonna be in last place?
But like you said that they're not good. So actually, I'll change this. So I'll say Steelers. I'll say Steelers 1. I'll say Bengals 2. I'll say Ravens 3. I'll say Browns 4.
Yeah, I think the Browns are going to be 4. I think
they're not good because their team is not good enough. The Deshaun Watson is injured off. He's gonna sit out for the rest of the season. So I think that's much better. I think that's much better than what I said. So yeah, that's what I'm sticking with. So Steelers 1, Cincinnati Bengals 2, Baltimore Ravens number 3, and then Browns number 4. So I'm gonna stick with that.
Yeah, I think the Browns ultimately you're gonna see like every quarterback they have on the roster play this season. Like I think at some point you're gonna see, I mean Joe Flacco starting, and then you're gonna see Dylan Gabriel, you're gonna see Shador Sanders, and I think you're gonna see Bailey Zappi as well at this season. And you're gonna see all four. So I think you're gonna see that's what's gonna happen in Cleveland. They're gonna be really bad this season. If you want to go to an NFL game, go to a Browns game because they're gonna be really bad. And I think Stefanski, their head coach, and Andrew Berry might get fired this upcoming off season. But
So
yeah,
if the Cleveland Browns perform awful this year, they might be like the MLB. They might be like the Colorado Rockies or the White Sox. They might be that terrible.
yeah, they're gonna lose a lot of games. I think so. I think that like their division is really stacked, and their team they just don't have a quarterback. Like they just don't have a good quarterback, and you need to have a good quarterback in the NFL.
And the problem when you don't have
to win games.
when you don't have a quarterback on your team, you have to take people from the practice squad because every player's injured, and that's not the direction you want to go. You don't want to take somebody from the practice squad just because you need somebody, so you just pull somebody from the practice squad and put that on your team. I don't. Does that always work to get people from the practice squad? So because all your players are injured, so you have to pull somebody from the practice squad and put him on the roster.
Yeah, that is, but it's not good because, like, with the practice squad, like those players didn't make the team, so they're not good to begin with. So a lot of the players that, when you are putting players in from the practice squad to be on your team, like that's just not good because that means like your team is already not good to begin with. So like that's just
So
not
is
a
there
good
like a
thing.
problem with pulling players from the practice squad and putting them on your team and seeing how they play on the team after getting a pull from the practice squad?
It's not a big problem. It's just like they're those players are just not good. So like you're basically like, replacing them with like not good players to begin with.
You
All
don't
right,
want to
so
do that.
yeah,
Sometimes you don't want to do that, but like you have to. It's like an emergency thing. You have to do it. Like sometimes, like
right.
when Josh Johnson got injured and Purdy got injured and Garoppolo, they had to put CMC and put him as the quarterback, and that was like the worst thing ever. Because like in the NFC Championship game when they played, he couldn't do nothing in that moment. Like he couldn't score touchdown. They just
Nope.
threw him. It's kind of like in baseball when like your team is down by a couple of runs and they put the pitcher in the game and the pitcher can't, like, he fumbles, he gives up a lot of runs, he gives up a lot of hits. He's not really in his prime in that moment because he just got thrown in the game because they were down and everybody was
Yeah.
out and they just threw the guy in the game. So that's not the best thing to do. Like I don't think that's the best way to do, but that's why we lost, and that was like the worst like blunder because we could have gone to the Super Bowl if we beat Philly, but if we all our quarterbacks got injured, so we weren't successful. Like CMC couldn't do nothing, and everybody was saying like why who kind of like what kind of like when Kyle Shannon put CMC in the game, people were saying like what was Kyle Shannon thinking? He thought that CMC was going to come in the game and do something magical, score a touchdown, win the game. It wasn't going to happen. I went to the sports bar and watched it. I knew at that point it was over. I knew that
Yeah.
Philly won it. Like I knew it. Like I was at the game watching the game and I knew that was over. Like I knew that the game was over. Like it was like so few seconds in the game and I was like this game is over. Like there's no way Niners are winning this game. There's
Well,
no way.
Chardon,
There's
let me
no
ask you.
because I was watching the game David in and it was over. So that was like the most heartbreaking game as I witnessed to see us that close to going to the Super Bowl and we didn't even go there.
Right,
So
right.
that was
Let
very
me
heartbreaking for me.
Speaking of quarterbacks, let me ask you, how do you think Aaron Rodgers is gonna do in his first year in Pittsburgh?
I think he's gonna do well. Like he's not gonna do well in his debut because he's on a new team, so he might make a little bit of blunders, but with enough practice and if he works hard and improves his game a little bit, he might do really well. But when it's your debut, it's kind of hard because like your debut is like your first time you're playing on your new team, so you're not gonna really do good on your first day.
Yeah, I agree.
I
I
mean,
mean, I think he's gonna play
he's gonna
well.
do
I think
good, but like he might not be the best because like he this is his new team and he hasn't really gotten that much playing time on the Steelers, so he needs to get like used to being on this team, and then if he works better, then he'll have a really good game. But it's it's not gonna be easy, but we'll see how it goes, and we'll I'll look. Fans will assess his performance throughout the season.
all right, let's before we move on to the NFC South, let's talk about the Browns again. And this is the question: who should the Cleveland Browns start at quarterback? Shador Sanders, Joe Flacco, the veteran, Dylan Gabriel, or Bailey Zappi? They are starting Joe Flacco, but do you agree or disagree with that decision? And if you disagree, who should they start? Chardo, I think honestly, I
So
disagree. Yeah, go
so in
ahead.
the game, so so who should start? So I'll make Shador Sanders QB1. I'll make Joe Flacco QB2. I'll make Joe Gabriel QB3, and then I'll have Zappy be QB4 behind Dylan Gabriel.
I think honestly, the Browns should start Bailey Zappi because I think
So
Joe
you
Flacco
want
should.
Zappy so you want Zappy at QB1. You want
Yes,
Flacco QB2, Shadur Sander QB3, and then Dylan Gabriel QB4. Is that how you want to do it, or you want to do like another way? Because I mean I agree. I think that Shadur should be QB1, and then Joe Flacco QB2, and then Dylan Gabriel QB3, and Bailey Zappi QB4. That's what I think. But you can always have a differing opinion. You could
I
always mix it around.
I think that I think they should do this. How many games are in an NFL season? Like
17
17, right?
games. 17.
They have 4 quarterbacks. Like you're gonna be a bad team anyways. Why don't you just give everybody a shot to see what they've got? Like you're trying it out, like you're gonna be a
So
bad team. You're gonna lose a lot
so
of
the
games.
best way to do is that maybe if you have 4 quarterbacks, maybe like in a game, maybe give Shadur Sanders a couple of snaps, give Joe Flacco a couple of snaps, let him play a little bit, give Dylan Gabriel a little bit of snaps, and then let Bailey Zappi play a little bit. So all four quarterbacks can get a chance to play. So they'll get a chance. So you don't start one quarterback and then just leave the
Yeah.
others.
I think they should do this. I think like there's 17 games, right? I think Flacco should play a couple games, but we already know what Flacco is. Like Flacco's not really that impressive. He's old already. So I think you should give the young guys a chance. Like I think you should see what the young guys got. And Bailey Zappi, look, he's out of Gabriel, Shador, and Zappi. He's done the most. So I think you should start Zappi and see what he's got. He's actually put up some good numbers in his career in the NFL. So I think you should start Zappy. Let Zappy play for like maybe 3 to 4 games. And then, we already know the season's going to be bad. And then after that, let Gabriel play for a couple games, see what happens and how he looks. And then Shador, let him play. It's like a trial. Let these kids have like let these kids have 5 to 6 games each to play, and then you can see what you've got, and I think
It's
that would
kind
be
of
a good,
it's kind of like
good
when I went
trial.
to the preseason game, the Niners preseason game, and they played one quarterback, like they played the quarterbacks, and they said like if they're good enough to make the team, then they'll make the team, but if they're not good enough, they'll get cut.
Yeah, and I think that's what they should do because the Browns are not going to be a good team anyways. They're not going to be competing, so I think you should just start you should start Zappy for the first 6 games, and then start Gabriel for the next 6 games, and then let Shador finish out the season with the next 6 games, and then you can see what they have. See what they have and see like how good they are. And I think that's what they should do. But I think they should start Zappy first because he's had some success already in like limited start. So I'm gonna go with Zappy. Chardot's going with Shador. Okay. Let's get into the NFC South, Chardot. Before I'll give it to you first to pick the division, but before I give it to you first to pick it, let me go ahead and introduce the teams. The NFC South got the New Orleans Saints, we got the Buccaneers, we got the Falcons, and we got the Panthers. So the Buccaneers won the division last season. The Falcons came in second. They were very close. They have a new quarterback in Michael Penix Jr., who they drafted a couple of years ago. And then the Panthers finished third in the division. The Saints, let's start with them. They fired their head coach, Dennis Allen, midseason. They replaced him with Eagles offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore, who's their new head coach. So it's a new era in New Orleans. Derek Carr retired. So now at quarterback, they're starting Tyler Show, who they drafted from Louisville, and also Spencer Rattler. So the Saints aren't going to be a good team, sadly. They're going to be probably one of the worst teams in the NFL. The Carolina Panthers added Tet McMillan, the receiver out of Arizona, who's going to be very fun to watch this in the past NFL draft. The Atlanta Falcons, they never really did a lot, Chardot, honestly. They were, as I try to get the magazine going. So the Saints, they added Justin Reed, the brother of Eric Reed, the former Niner. They also added Brandon Cooks, the wide receiver, and running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire. They lost Derek Carr, who retired. They also added Tyler Show, the quarterback from Louisville, as their quarterback. The Panthers added safety Trevon Moehrig from the Raiders, as well as Rico Daldo, the running back, and Hunter Renfrow, the wide receiver, who retired a couple of years ago, but he came back. They lost linebacker Jadeveon Clowney, quarterback Felipe Franks, safety Jordan Fuller, and running back Mike Boone. And then for the Atlanta Falcons, they got linebacker Leonard Floyd, who the Niners released. They picked up Jordan Fuller from the Panthers. They got wide receiver Jamal Agnew, and they also picked up Felipe Franks, who was cut by the Panthers. He's now an Atlanta Falcon. And then the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, with Baker Mayfield and Mike Evans, they re-signed Chris Godwin, and they also added pass rusher Hassan Reddick, who was on the Jets last season, and he wasn't really that good, so he's looking to bounce back. Chardot, I'll go to you first on this. Who do you have winning this division, and how do you think the other teams will follow in the places? You're going to go Saints, Falcons, Bucks, or Panthers, and how do you think they line up second, third, and fourth place?
So I'm gonna go winning the AFC North. I'm gonna go the Atlanta Falcons.
Okay. Why do you think the Falcons will win the NFC South?
I think the Atlanta Falcons will win the NFC South because I think they got great players on their team. They got
Michael Penix Jr.
They got Michael Penix Jr. So they got a lot of great players on their team. So I think that if they're healthy, they might have a potential chance of winning the AFC North if this team is healthy.
Yeah, so I think this division, Chardot, it's kind of weak because the Saints and the Saints are going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL, like the Browns. They don't have a quarterback. Kellen Moore is a new coach. He's going to have time to build the New Orleans Saints up to be a championship team. So I don't think the Saints are going to be that good. The Buccaneers and the
Falcons,
the
really good thing about the Falcons is that one of my receivers from San Jose State, my alum. He plays wide receiver for the Falcons. He just came to the Falcons as a UDFA undrafted free agent. I think Nick Nash is going to do good on Atlanta. I think he's going to have a good season on Atlanta. He has experience playing for San Jose State. So if I'm watching a Falcons game on TV, I'm definitely gonna watch out for Nick Nash and see how well he gets and how many carries he has and how well he does on the Falcons. But he's definitely one player I'm definitely watching for when I'm watching Falcons games on TV. That's one of the players I'm definitely looking for.
Okay. How do you have the other teams in the division? Like, how do you have them lining
So
up?
I'm
Like,
going
in
for
third, fourth.
I'm going Carolina number 2, and then I'm going Tampa Bay number 3, and then the New Orleans Saints are gonna be one of the worst teams, so I'm gonna make them number 4.
Okay. Okay. So you have wait. Who do you have at number two?
Atlanta at number 1. I have Carolina number 2. I have Tampa Bay at number 3, and I have New Orleans at number 4.
Okay. Okay. So for me, I think
Because
this
like New Orleans is
division.
gonna have the worst season, so that's why I'm making the Saints number 4. Even though they have Kellen Moore, I know they're not gonna have a good season.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they're gonna be last. I think they're rebuilding, so it's gonna take some time for them. But I got the so for me, I'm actually gonna go with a surprise. I think this division is weak with like the Falcons and Buccaneers. Both have great offenses and great quarterbacks, but they just can't defend. Like they don't have a good defense. And then the Saints, they're gonna be trash. The Panthers, Bryce Young, it's his prove it year, and he did really good in the second half of the season under Dave Canales. And then they added Ted McMillan, which will really help them. He has a number one wide receiver now. And I think they also really did well in the draft, drafting offensive line. So, Chardot, I'm going to go with a surprise. Every year in the NFL, you have 2 or 3 teams that come out of nowhere and shock the hell out of everybody and make the playoffs. Like last year, we had the Broncos and we had the Commanders with Jaden Daniels. This year for me, I'm going with the Carolina Panthers. I think the Carolina Panthers will be that Cinderella team and will shock the hell out of everybody. I think Bryce Young will take that step up to being a star quarterback, and really do good in another year under Dave Canales, his head coach and offensive play caller. I think they're going to be able to run the football pretty well this season. I think that, Ted McMillan, who is, the wide receiver from Arizona, I think he's going to have a great year and be rookie of the year. Chuba Hubbard, who is the running back, he had a really good season last year. So I think he's going to be good. Rico Dowdo, who they got, he's coming off a 1,000-yard season in Dallas. I think that he's also going to help them a lot. And then a guy to look out for is Hunter Renfro because he's coming back from injury. He retired a couple of years ago, but he's a guy that's like Wes Welker, who is a guy that's like really good up the middle, going over the middle to catch the ball. And he's really good like after catching the ball. So I think he's gonna be pretty good. And in the Panthers, you look at the offensive line, they returned their top 7 guys from last year, including their starters and their top backup. So another year, I think will really help them. And then the defense, look, the defense, is anchored by Derek Brown, who's the big fella in the middle. He's going to be back. He's going to be, help them stop the run and get double teams. They did get Bobby Brown the third, and also Tershawn Wharton from the Chiefs to help their their defensive line. I think those pieces will be good. So yeah, I'm gonna go with the Panthers. I think Bryce Young finally turns it up and finally shows why he was the number 1 overall pick just a couple of years ago this season. And then the rest of the division, I'm gonna go with Tampa Bay number 2, Atlanta number 3, because I don't really trust their defense. I think that Michael Penix in his first full season, I think he's gonna be okay, but I just think like it takes time to adjust to the NFL. And then the Saints are going to be 4th. But I think the Buccaneers and Panthers will battle it out. I think the Panthers will win about 10 games. It's going to come this division. You're going to see a team that makes the playoffs and wins it that is going to they're going to win like only like 9 or 10 games. It's not going to be like a 11-12 win team to win this division. It's going to be a really close race. So I'm going to go with the Panthers. I think the Panthers shock the world.
So it looks like it looks like so I'm going Atlanta 1, Carolina 2, Tampa Bay 3, and New Orleans 4. Looks like you're going the opposite direction. You're going Tampa Bay number 1, Carolina number 2, Atlanta number 3. So we both agree that New Orleans is number 4. Even though I'm going the other way around and you're starting at Tampa Bay, going to Carolina, going to Atlanta, and going up to New Orleans. So like we both agree with that Saints are at number 4. Even though I'm going this way and then you're starting from the top, and you're going this way, and then you're going back that way.
Yeah, we both agree New Orleans is going to be one of the worst teams in the NFL. But yeah, I think I got the Panthers. I just think they're going to surprise people. I know you got the Falcons. They're another young team, just like the Panthers with young quarterbacks. So I could see that. I think that does make a lot of sense, Chardot, for you picking the Falcons. But I think this is going to be one of the, like, if you're watching just football in general, this is going to be like a very fun division to watch because you have like young quarterbacks, a lot of offense, a lot of teams that like to score the ball a lot. So I think this is going to be a very fun division to watch.
And I totally agree that all these teams are gonna do really well. Like they're all gonna do really well in the season. But like the way I told my friends is that you should just like when you see a team, you should just look at like you should just watch each team game by game, because a lot of my friends pick two games and look at two. I tell my friends that you should just look at game by game to see like the first game and how well the first game is, and then just go to the second game and just do game by game. That's how I do it when I play Madden 25, just like in my free time. Whenever I'm playing like franchise mode or something for the Niners, I normally go the first game, and then I normally like assess what if I'm like the quarterback and I'm playing against, like, for example, I'm playing against the Buccaneers, and then I don't have a good game. I assess myself that as a quarterback, like as a leader of this team, what did I make a mistake on? Like, did I get intercepted too many times? Did I give up too many? Did I fumble the ball too many times? That's the way to look at it. You have to look at it game by game, because that's the only way you'll improve and be better. If you focus on one game at a time and see what you did, and that's how quarterbacks need to do. They need to like focus that we made a mistake and we got to work on it, and then we got to be better into moving into our next game.
Right. Well, Chardot, the time has come.
Hey, it was great coming on the on the show today, talking about the NFC North and AFC. It was great coming on the show and talking about what our thoughts about both of these conferences are, between the NFC North and the AFC East. So it was really fun to talk about that and come on the show and talk football with you, man, because I can't wait for football, man. Like, I just can't wait, man. I'm ready for football to start. Niners season's almost underway. We're facing off Seattle in Lumen Field to take on the Seattle Seahawks. That's gonna be a good game with Sam Darnold coming in to take on Brock Purdy, both former Niners. But it was great coming on the show, and we're gonna be doing a 2025 San Francisco 49ers season preview show on the 6th of September. We're gonna do that at 4, so I'm gonna schedule that stream, get the stream all ready. But what are your takeaways from the show today? It was a really great show.
It was a great show. The time to predict everything and analyze everything is over. The predictions are in, and now we wait for kickoff. Now we wait for the ball to be kicked off and the season to start, and football is back. I mean, you're hearing this music as I am, right? Doesn't this get you pumped up for football season?
It gets me pumped up for football, so
yeah, man. Like, it was a great show, like you mentioned. It was a great 8 divisions and 8 days series. We did all the divisions, previewed everything, predicted everything, and yeah, man, now here we go. Football season.
So this is a
here.
Great show. We it was great, coming on for the last two conferences. We previewed the AFC. We finished off with the AFC North and the NFC South. So I mean, I can't wait for football, man. Like, I really wanted to get started as soon as possible, man, and see the Niners go out there and and do whatever and take care of business and do whatever they have to do. But viewers, make sure to subscribe to the IM6 Sports Network for 49ers content. Make sure to subscribe to the SGA Sports Talk channel if you like Niners play-by-play content. Make sure to show both of us some love on both of our channels. We really appreciate that. Right. And I'll definitely look forward to seeing you for the 2025 San Francisco 49ers season preview show. I'm going to be hosting it. I'd love to have you on. Anybody else who would love to come on the show, it would be mostly appreciated if you'd come on, talk Niners football with both of us. But thanks for having me on the show, and I'll definitely see you for that 2025 49ers season preview show.
Chardot, one last thing before we get out of here. Cowboys and Eagles kick off the season tomorrow night in Philly to start the season. Give me your prediction. Cowboys, Eagles, what's the score?
I'm going to be going with the Philadelphia Eagles getting the win over the Dallas Cowboys. I got them winning by a game-winning field goal, 23-20.
Okay. I got the Eagles winning as well. I think losing Michael Parsons is going to hurt a lot for the Cowboys. I don't think the Cowboys will be able to stop Philly, so I'm going to go Eagles 30 to 17. I don't think it's going to be that close of a game, but like me and Chardot said, guys, like and subscribe to our stuff. You can follow him at the SGA Sports Talk channel. You can follow him on YouTube as well. Give him a like, give him a subscribe, as well as our stuff here on YouTube and Facebook. But Chardot, here we go. Football
I can't wait, man.
Peter, man.
It's always good, bud, coming on, talking with you. Great friend of mine. I've known you for so long, man. We go back. We go back to trace our roots. Go back to we go back. Back to junior high school, to high school. We go back. We go really back. We go way back, man. But it's an honor to come on, man. Talk football with you, man. I'm a big Niner fan, just as you are. And man, I can't wait for football, man. Let's get back on that turf. Let's do what we got. Let's get the job done, man. Let's go get them, boys.
Go get them. Go get them, indeed, man. All right,
yeah, man. I can't. The 2025 NFL season just 4 days away. We're taking on the Seattle Seahawks.
Tomorrow, actually, not 4 days away. For the Niners, yeah, 4 days away, but tomorrow.
The first game for the San Francisco 49ers is 4 days away on September 7th. They take on the Seattle Seahawks. Their first actual game is against the Arizona Cardinals on September 21st. But can't wait for football, man, and can't wait to do that 49ers season preview show with you, man. Break down everything before the season starts, man. But it was great coming on, and I hope you have a great rest of your night. And it was a great show, man. We got to do this again.
Definitely. Well, like I said, the predictions are done. The shows are done. Football is ready to kick off. We're ready to kick it off on the field. Football season is officially back, y'all. And enjoy the games tomorrow. Enjoy the games on Sunday. But yeah, football is officially back. Welcome back to NFL.
And make sure to tune into the SGS Sports Talk channel. I'm at 455 subscribers. I'm on the road to 500 subs. So make sure to show me some love. Make sure love to Isaiah on the IM6 Sports Network. They have a great panel. They got James Gonzalez, Ben Kurse comes on there as well. But thanks for having me on, man. And I'm pumped for Niner football, man. I'm pumped for the start of the NFL season, man.
Me too, man.
Let's go, man. Right. And I hope you have a great rest of your night. And thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah, no worries. All right, guys. Like I said, football's back. Let's go. Prediction time is done. And here we go, man. Football is officially back. And let the games begin. Let the ball get kicked off officially tomorrow night. Anyways, guys, it's been fun to be on this show. Thank you to Chardot for coming on. Thank you to everybody that's come on throughout the series. Thank you to everybody who's commented and watched. But yeah, stay safe, stay healthy. And now the predictions are done. The shows are done. Here we go. Football is officially back. Let us kick it off now, and let's have football officially come back tomorrow night. Have a good night, everybody, and welcome back, NFL football.
Purdy out of the shotgun, drops a couple of steps, going to take a deep shot. The Brandon Ayuk, it's deflected and caught.
Cousins, first read taken away. Left side, he throws. Wide open pass. From being able to make a play on that football. That's where Sutton was so good last year in the red zone. Nix evades the run. Nix the fake. Another fake, and he spins into the end zone. They're going to get a free play. Rodgers is the master at it, and a touchdown by Lazard. Jones on the fake, pressure coming, and he's sacked by Parsons.
God, corner. Motion man Hudson. The throw, caught. Hudson lost the ball. Looked like a touchdown. Instead, it's a turnover.
On the pocket. That's away from Chenal, who's trying to get after him for a second time, but the ball is thrown to the end zone, and it's caught!
On it to McCaffrey right up the middle, and a stiff arm. McCaffrey for 6. Duval!